Hello guys. Welcome to Diablo the Primordial 2.0. This video is the continuation video after itching for a fight. So if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. And please check out my second channel Anime SumUp for the amazing recaps of different anime. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates. The boy saw the men charged at her, trying to grab onto her, and heard multiple things snap. The men bends in an unnatural angle as it was clear that they had their bones broken. What just happened? Was what crossed everyone's minds. The unknown woman disabled and immobilized the assholes, who had been crowing on their front door for some time, just like that. All it took was 2 seconds. You're next, Blondie. The woman smirked and launched herself over. No. Goran felt pain he had never felt before. All the joints to his limbs snapped, and he couldn't stop screaming until he was knocked in the head. Didn't know you were a screamer, Rimuru chuckled. That was a terrible joke, master. Oh come on, you've made worse jokes, he retorted. The reason he didn't kill these fools on the spot was because there were children watching. He might be an extra-dimensional class demon, but he was once also a teacher. His teacher's heart didn't let him set a bad example for little kids. Jack saw the woman suddenly run towards the port. He was so amazed by her that he knew he had to watch more. So using his Shadowfoot, he tailed behind her without getting spotted by the attackers. Jack. Wait a minute. He heard Sister Orly's voice get smaller the further he ran. Along the way, he saw the stranger disable the attackers in a similar fashion. No more than 3 seconds were wasted on a single enemy every time. Jack finally realized just how fucked he was the moment he tried to cross her. Ah, shit. I'm so dead. Even though he said that, he still followed behind her like a duckling to a parent. Meanwhile, near the port, Johnson was fighting the pirates. Watch your sides and backs, men. He, along with his troops, were currently counter-attacking the pirates along with helping the survivors. The wooden buildings on the port were catching on fire and were quickly spreading. The only way to explain this phenomenon was that there was a mage, or a skill user among the attackers. The situation was really grim. Among the guards, only the captain had a skill. And the port town couldn't procure enough money to hire a mage. Suddenly, a cone of fire burst from the wooden platforms connecting the ships. Ha ha ha. Burn. Burn. Well, at least they found where the perpetrator was. Johnson's squad dwindled until they were finally outnumbered and surrounded. Well boys. It's been an honor serving with you. It's the same with us, Vice Captain. He thought about his promises he couldn't fulfill, including the ones he made just earlier today. In the end, he really was a failure. Well, if he was going to die, he would die with dignity, fighting with his brothers in arms. He just hoped the town won, and the orphanage stayed unharmed. He led another war cry, which was joined with the others, and charged at the attackers. But suddenly, he heard bones breaking. Not from his side, but from the pirates. Ah. From the other side, he saw the same woman he met earlier at the orphanage, absolutely hammering down on the attackers. Not even 10 seconds and a third surrounding them had already fallen. Snapping out of his surprise, he realized that they might just come out of this alive. With new vigor, he ordered another charge. Rimuru kept bashing and attacking until he ran to the docks. There, he saw the pyromaniac responsible for the fire. Run along now, lady. Unless you want to taste my fire. The man with the red mohawk threatened. Oh, please. You call this a fire? My cigar lighter could do better. Ho? So you're approaching me? Instead of running away, you're coming right at me, Bo, the Fire Lord? I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer, moron. Rimuru walked relaxedly. Oh ho. Then come as close as you like, bitch. The two clashed with outstanding expertise, trying to one-up one another as they traded blows. That was what Jack wanted to say, but in reality, the pyromaniac fell just like the rest of the pirates. The only difference was that the stranger took the time to quip at him. Really, just who was this swordswoman? That was what the boy wanted to know. Rimuru sensed a fire user in the midst of the burnt houses. This one was a mage, unlike the first one. He wanted to head over. But first, he had to test something. He threw a weapon at the kid, who'd been tailing him. Kid, show the captain what you've got. And with that, Rimuru leapt to where the mage was. Meanwhile, Jack was shocked and confused. when the crazy lady spoke and threw her weapon at him. "Captain? What captain?" His questions were answered soon enough, as an almost overly muscular old man jumped from the pirate ship to the docks. He wore a coat and a pirate hat. "Wait. Him. Battle that guy." The pirate quickly found him and swung at him. Jack, being an 11-year-old boy who had never been in an immediate life or death situation, understandably froze in place. That was until he felt something within him unraveling itself. All this time since he'd first discovered his skill, he'd only been able to use it to hide his presence and increase his skill in sneaking. Now, in the face of true danger, the skill had finally manifested its true nature. As soon as the blade reached him, his body fell into his own shadow. The pirate immediately went to search for him, walking onto where he just was. As their shadows overlapped, the boy quickly jumped out of the shadows and hit the captain's head. And with that, the captain got down. "Whoa. Did I really do that? Jack. What are you doing here?" Johnson quickly ran over to him. He saw him wielding a weapon and looked behind the boy. "Did you do this?" Jack slowly nodded. "How did you? Look out." Suddenly, the old pirate attacked. Jack quickly pulled Johnson into his shadow, and both popped out several meters back. "You didn't really think you could beat me that easily, did you, boy?" The man grinned as he charged the both of them. Johnson, being an experienced guard, immediately spotted a weakness. He whispered over to the boy. "If you could do that again, then try hitting him in the lower body, that should immobilize him." Jack nodded and went back to his shadow. Much warier than before, the captain was ready to attack him while defending his face. But suddenly, Jack appeared and hit on the crotch. And this time, the pirate went down for sure. "Now, break his arms and legs." Jack was startled at the violent command. "Do it before he gets up again." "All right." "Ah. My elbow. My knee." This time the pirate went silent. He learned that one from the crazy woman. And so, after the fall of the two pyromaniacs and the captain, the town finished off the remaining attackers. The rest of the morgue mobs already escaped by the time they got to their hideout. Meanwhile, in the orphanage, were the people having the discussion about the theft. Johnson was standing next to Jack, while the boy was grasping on the stranger's weapon. Both were facing Rimuru, while the other kids and the sister were waiting for something to happen. "Ma'am, about the theft. I have already decided my choice." Orly gulped. No option would go without having at least one of the kids in danger. "I choose." The woman then pointed at Jack. The boy shook at her pointing. He witnessed firsthand just how frightening the woman was. Orly, the other kids and even Johnson started making a ruckus. "No. Please, wait. No. Not Jack. Ma'am. You can't." The woman strode towards the boy. Johnson tried to pull him behind him, but Jack swerved over him and stood in front of her. He'd made his mind earlier when Johnson apologized. He was going to man up and face any punishment he deserved, no matter how terrible. If he made a mistake, then it should only be him who should pay the price, and not anyone else. And so, he stood straight and waited for the pain that was to come. "You. Become my disciple." Yes, he would gladly take punishment. "What, huh?" Everyone else was just as dumbfounded. Rimuru smirked. He loved trolling people in trouble. He did it with Mayulan, Yume and Grucius, so why couldn't he do it to anyone else? Yes. This was his new purpose. When he read the book about Diablo, he was reminded of his old students. He really missed the days when he used to teach them. They looked up to him not because they were his subordinates, but because they loved his teachings. He figured that he wanted to experience that feeling once more. To see the students he taught grow up into outstanding people. It was the best feeling in the world. It felt like a worthwhile goal. The moment when he caught the boy gazing at him, was the moment he knew who his first student was. "I want to teach you. To guide you in your path in life." Jack was now sure he didn't hear it wrong. To have someone teach you willingly was a big thing for orphans like him. It was like, they were willing to take care of him and nurture him, until he became knowledgeable and grew up. "Even though I tried to steal from you, would you still teach me?" His voice was shaky and was breaking. "So what? All I see is a brave boy, willing to help his family no matter what it takes. A boy who would sacrifice his well-being just to keep his loved ones away from harm." At this point, the boy was openly crying. Nobody ever told him that. The other strangers, the kids with parents, They all told him that he was a nobody, someone unloved by even their parents. It hurt so much to hear, no matter how he tried to hide it. Okay. Good. Then, call me Rimuru Sensei. Yes. I'll be in your care, Sensei. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched my other videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.